Hey, I decided to get back up on here and show you. I'm Maggie from Maggie's Kinder, and I decided to get back on here and show you my bucket seat on the cheap demo, how I put my seat top together. And I'm not kidding, this is super cheap. The only cost you will have is the fabric, and I'm going to show you how to laminate the cover to the fabric and to wrap it around the cardboard, add the fiber fill and all of that. And hopefully you can get an idea of how I put this together. And like I said, it's on the cheap. So let me turn it around. And I literally have this scotch tape to my camera tripod, so let's hope it holds out. How's that for innovation? So here's what I've done. I've taken about a ½ yard of fabric, and you can see where I've already used 2 of the triangles. And what I've done is cut out a circle of cardboard, and notice the fabric just is barely going to cover the edges. It's not really going to be much excess. And then after I do that, I cut off all of the extra fabric. And these scissors are getting dull and they're horrible. But I'm not even neat. You don't have to be pretty with this, because guess what? It's going to be hidden. It'll be under the seat. Nobody will ever know. It's just your little secret. So you take all the edges off. And I've done things like this for many years. My mother taught me how to sew when I was a little girl. I made all my Barbie clothes, and I made clothes for my dogs when I was little, poor things. So when you get those circles cut out, you're ready to take a piece of contact paper, clear contact paper, and laminate it to the fabric. And that's really, really easy too. So let me get the edge started real quick. I hate starting the edge of anything, don't you? Have you ever tried to do double-sided tape? I just gave up on it today. I decided it wasn't worth it, and I threw it. Not literally, but I did throw it. Oh, come on. Okay, this is like #real teacher problems. Do you agree? Oh, gosh. This is like the worst. I should have done this before I talked to you guys. Okay, so you want to tear up a little edge. You don't want to pull the whole thing off. And then you want to get your fabric laid out. Remember, it's not pretty, it's not neat, it's just a sort of a circle. And then you're going to start the laminate, and laminate doesn't really, this contact laminate doesn't really stick to anything too much. I'm hoping I have enough. Oops. I'm going to have to get a little bit more on there. But look at how easy it comes back up. I'm talking to myself, I guess. And so you pull this up and you press it to the fabric as you go across. And I hope I'm going to have enough this time. Yes. And you just sort of do this as you go across. And that's the way to keep from having bubbles. But guess what? Because you're doing this on fabric, you're not going to have bubbles because the air goes through the back. Haha. Now, after I do that, I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to grab all of this yucky fiber fill that I have repurposed from another project. It's not a pretty color, but it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to see it, right? And then I try to center it, and I start gathering this contact paper. Kind of trying to focus. Can you tell I stopped talking? And I'm going to try to pull it around, and when it's a short side that doesn't overlap much, I'm going to grab some of my Gorilla Tape and secure it down. That stuff is not coming off. That is really good sticky tape. And I'm going to try to bring it in. And the last thing I'll do is, and like I said, this is cheap. There's no wood cutting involved, and it holds up really well. The others have lasted until I wanted to change my design, which was this year. So, okay, I have kind of got a hold of them now. I've already pre-torn the tape. So I'm going to start wrapping around and securing the edges all the way around. Hope I have enough tape torn off until I get over here. And then I will add some more tape across the back, try to make it look like it's really all secure. And then I'll flip it over, and looky there, you have a seat. And then all you do is take the lid, you fold the tape back on itself, lots of tape loops here, and stick it down, press it down really good. And then let me show you what you end up with. And I actually made that circle just a little bit bigger because I wanted it to fill out more of the top. But there is my bucket seat. I hope I have it in the camera. So isn't that cute? And it didn't take that much effort. And if you're really going to skimp on fabric, I would recommend doing that triangle shape. You get 4 out of 1/2 yard. So I need to just go and cut another piece off of a single width and go ahead and do that one, and then I'll be done with my 5 bucket seats for this year. Now I plan on doing some kind of design on the side, probably a basketball, or my theme is a sports theme, so I'll probably put a little sports kid or a cheerleader or something like that on it, because I think that would be really cute. That didn't take long at all. The hardest part is cutting out the cardboard. Do you remember how it is after you haven't cut out things for a long time and you start cutting out something thick, you get blisters? So that was the only thing I would recommend. If you haven't cut something thick out like cardboard with scissors in a long time, I would recommend getting gloves or something that's going to protect your hands so you don't get a blister. How to keep the fabric board on? Okay, let me show you. Now this is crazy because it's really hard. This duct tape, this Gorilla Tape is awful stuff, and it's really hard to tear off, so it takes a lot of muscle, but I'll try. So I tear off pieces like that, I roll them inside out, and let me do this one. This one isn't done yet. I'll use this one for a base, okay? Okay, this one, I just start making these things all, see, it's really sticky, it's stuck to me. So I start taping these around. It's seriously good tape. And the kids really can't pull it off. I had to have my husband to help me pull off the old ones when I redid them last year. It was pretty funny. And, you know, I really got to tease him about his muscle mass might have deteriorated just a little bit since we did it before because it wasn't budging. So I just do this all the way around. Good grief, it's hard to get off my fingers. Teacher problems. You know, if that's the worst problem you have in life, you're okay. All right, so I'm almost done. And really, this would be enough because my kids honestly did not bother this. And once this is stuck down, it's stuck down. So you kind of want to get it, you know, centered and fit pretty well. And really press on it and see it's really stuck on there. And you might even go under, you might want to put some over on the edges. But that's what it looks like, and it's really comfy. I use it myself. I use it in the middle of my guided reading table all the time when I'm teaching the kids. So it's something that I came up with about 4 or 5 years ago, and I thought, I have to make these things cheaper. This is ridiculous. It's costing way too much every year. I spend, oh my word, I spend $1,000 easily every year for school. And then I feel really bad that I've done it, but on the other hand, there are no supplies. You know, lots of times things that you may have basic supplies, but you want really fun things for your classroom, and you want to make it an environment that your kids want to come to. And I think this bucket was maybe $4, and the lids were maybe $2, and so maybe for about $10 if you count the fabric that you've used and the tape and everything. That's not too bad, and these things really hold up. I have a friend who really tested it, let's say, and it will hold a lot. And so that particular bucket I still haven't been able to get the lid off of, but that's okay. But what's really great about these buckets too is that they're good storage. I keep Lego blocks and all kinds of things in them. And I honestly think they would be good for table seating. I think I could see if I had 16 buckets, I would use those preferably over a chair. Thank you. I think these would be so much easier. What I like about the bucket, it's tall enough at the guided group table that, you know how kids are always on their knees when you have a regular student chair at the guided table, and it seems like they're always playing with something at the table. So this kind of gets rid of that because they're sitting up tall enough that they can see all of the letter tiles, and they can see what they're writing on the whiteboard, and they can see their book well, and they can see their friend's book well, and it just seems like a win-win, and it's a really cheap thing to come up with. So I just wanted to let you see that it wasn't that scary. It's really easy. And if you don't want to spend the bucks on fabric, guess what? You can go get a vinyl tablecloth at Dollar Tree or any of the cheap stores and do the very same thing. Go ahead and use the clear contact paper and cover it, and it will last for a long time. And if it ever gets a hole in it, which I haven't had a problem with, thank you, I haven't had an issue with, you can just cut a little piece of the clear contact paper. I want to say laminate all the time. You can just cut a little piece of that and put over it and patch it. So I really don't see that it's ever an issue as far as it holding up. It's always going to hold up. And I love in the wintertime that I can take my my wipes, my antiseptic type things, and clean everything off real well. My Clorox wipes or whatever you use. So, but it's just really handy. And I do have the crate seats, but the crate seats aren't tall enough, and they just are kind of flimsy. And my house is actually a round shape, and we built it that way because a round shape is a very strong shape. So these buckets really hold up really well under anybody's weight. So that's all I have, and if you have questions, you can leave them on here and I'll try to get back to you. Or if you have something you want to ask right now about where I got something, or any process of this, just let me know before we stop the broadcast. So if you don't have anything, I'll go ahead and stop it. And if you watch it again and you come up with another question, just let me know and I'll try to answer it. I'll try to put maybe a blog about it and answer questions on the blog. So it's Maggie'sKinder.com. Talk to you later. Bye.